YouTube. Today we are going to be looking at a movie that has Mark Hamill as a side character who dies. Very great use of Mark Hamill here. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so for the story, it starts off with a scientist being chased by some really random thugs who are also aliens, apparently. We find that out later. Because I guess that the villain in this movie makes all his henchmen into aliens just in case, if that's needed. I don't know why he does that. That seems like a really big waste of his resources there. He could just give them some pretty powerful weapons, but no, I guess the better situation would just be make them all into aliens. 'Cause why not? So yeah, the scientist is trying to hide the Guyver, which is a device, as the earlier scroll narration says. Apparently created by aliens, who also tried to make Homo sapiens the biggest weapon. There's no context given to this, it's just aliens trying to make humans into their greatest weapon. We never hear from these aliens, they never actually play a part in the movie, it's just aliens did it. Blame them, I guess. So pretty much they gave people these strange abilities to turn into some rather weird alien things, and they did that so they could use them? I don't know. I'm guessing that since we never see these aliens, that they're presumed dead, and that, yeah, they were just total idiots who just sort of thought that making a whole entire species would be the ultimate weapon for them. Don't know why they thought that, but apparently they did. But we're humans, so I guess that we killed them or something. I don't know. They never show up. So yeah, the scientist is trying to hide the device, the Guyver, from these thugs, but then they start to chase him, but luckily he's already hidden the device. So now it's time for him to fight. So one of the villains' go-to guys comes in to fight him. They both turn into alien things. Yeah, I know the aliens in these movies have a name, but I didn't care to remember it. So yeah, they start to fight as all the thugs just sort of stand around cheering them on. Don't know why. That doesn't really have any bearing on the plot here. They are just cheerleaders. Don't know why they actually came here for this. Are they getting paid well to just say, yeah, you can do it? So yeah, they kill the scientist in a rather brutal manner for a movie that's just like PG or PG-13. Like, his skull is crushed, and then he falls on the ground and completely just melts. He melts. His whole entire body melts, and he's nothing left but a skeleton. Yeah, this is, I guess, for kids, because they'll be fine with that. So, yeah. After that brutal murder, we see the wacky hijinks of Sean, who is hanging out with his girlfriend at the dojo that he's at. At least we can now get an explanation for why he's a good fighter later, even though they make it clear here that he's not a good fighter, but he never figures out how to be a better fighter by controlling his anger, so that was useless. But Sean's girlfriend Now here's from Max, who's played by Mark Hamill. And honestly, I thought that Sean was Mark Hamill at first. Seriously, he looks like a very young version of Mark Hamill. And I honestly thought it was him. But then Mark Hamill comes in with a weird mustache, and I was just confused. But, yeah, so Max comes in to tell Sean's girlfriend the great news that her dad has died. I'm sure she's just so thrilled to hear about that. And now Max is inviting her to go see the crime scene. Why does she need to see the crime scene? Like, who would just come up to her and say, okay, your dad just died. I tried to meet with him so he could give me this package that I don't know what it was for. You want to go find that? Okay. Like, why would she go with him? I don't know why. And they don't even look for the package all that much. They just sort of look around for a little bit and then just like, well, we tried. Okay, let's better get you back home. So, yeah. Now Sean stops by the crime scene because I guess he just likes crime scenes. There could be an explanation for this in that he knew that his girlfriend was here, but he doesn't. As far as he knows, she just went home. So, yeah. He just likes to stop by crime scenes, I guess, because who wouldn't? So, yeah, he stopped by a crime scene, and he finds the lunchbox that contains the Guyver. So, he just decides, well, this is kind of cool. I guess I'll just stuff into my backpack and leave. So, yeah, he's now found the Guyver. Doesn't really mess with it for a while, or decide to, actually send it off to someone and get paid for it, because he has no idea what it can do at this point. So, yeah, why is he trying to keep this? If I was him, I'd just be like, okay, I found this. Hello, eBay. So, yeah. Don't try to sell it or anything. Well, granted, I guess it would be kind of weird to give it a name, like, found this random metal thing in a lunchbox. Anyone want to buy it? So, yeah, I guess that does make sense to why I don't try to sell it. So, then we see Max and John's girlfriend, whose name I keep on forgetting. Hang on one sec. Alright, so, just found out her name is Mizzy. Who named someone Mizzy? Like, was her dad just thinking, the name I want to give my daughter is Mizzy, because I just know I'm not gonna like her, so might as well give her this awful name. I don't know. Who would name their daughter Mizzy? Okay, but, yeah, Mark Hamill's character, who I'm just gonna be calling Mark, because his name starts with an M in this movie, too. And I'm just gonna keep on accidentally calling him Mark anyway, so let's just call him Mark. So, I know his real name is Max, but I'm calling him Mark. So, yeah, Mark and Mizzy start talking about the device that her father was trying to get out. And it turns out that Mizzy knows everything there is to know about this. For some reason. Why does she know so much about this? Really, it's just like she hears the name The Guyver because the scientist apparently told this one guy who we never met before that he's just gonna meet down in the alleyway about just giving him this device. I guess he really needed to tell this guy the name of the device, just in case if he died, so we could pass the name along to his daughter, who knows everything about this. But, yeah, his daughter knows everything there is to know about the Guyver, how aliens made it, what it does exactly, as apparently bonds to a host, and is pretty much just a cool suit of armor. I guess Sean's gonna be lucky. And that is just pretty useful. And some people want it. Don't know why she knows all this. Did her dad tell her? Again, I think that her dad was just expecting himself not to come back from this. Like, well, honey, I'm probably gonna die. Let me tell you everything there is to know about this device I'm trying to get rid of. It's for your own safety. No, it's really not. I'm probably gonna die if I know all this. Shut up, you're my daughter. You're probably gonna die anyway. So, yeah, he just sort of tells her everything, I guess. And then we see Sean. He stopped by Missy's house, and he sees Mark, so he just sort of leaves. And then he's riding around on his scooter after a really weird transition. Yeah, I don't know what it is with this movie and very, very strange transitions, but it has some really weird ones, like one where it just cuts through like a comic book page. I don't know why it does this. I get that it's trying to feel more like a comic book, but it's based off of a manga. There is a distinct difference between those two. And while, yes, they both use panels for their comics, there's still a lot of differences, and just having a comic book style transition isn't gonna fix this. But anyway, yeah, after that weird cut, we see Sean riding around on his little lame scooter. Seriously. Could he not afford a motorcycle or a bike? Like, you got a scooter? That's kind of lame, Sean. Maybe he just thinks that he's unstoppable. I don't know. So, yeah, he's riding home on his scooter through a dark alleyway where clearly nothing will go wrong in the bad side of the neighborhood. Yeah, everything's gonna go great for you, Sean. So he keeps on riding through, and of course, something bad happens. He runs into some thieves. One of them, I think, is one of the guys from his karate class. Why that guy was a part of this, I don't know. Maybe he just heard that Sean was out here and then some other guys were gonna try and beat him up and he just wanted to get in on it. I don't know. But yeah, he just decides to come running out to this because I guess that this was the biggest thing of his whole night. So, yeah. They start beating him up. They even destroy his scooter. Now they've just gone too far. And apparently it is too far for Sean too, as he gets out the Guyver and just starts crawling over to it. Don't know why he thinks that this is gonna help him here, because he doesn't know anything about this. Missy hasn't given him the full info on this thing. She hasn't even told him about it. He just sort of thinks, this random thing I found in a lunchbox, it must save me here. So, yeah, he gets the Guyver and it bonds to him, and he pretty much just beats up all these thieves. And then he wakes up in bed the next morning. I guess there was no real anything else to do there, just like he bonded to some weird alien suit. Nothing weird, I guess. So, yeah. He's now just bonded with an alien suit. He just sort of thinks it's a dream, I guess, even though his scooter is still destroyed, so that would kind of be an indication that it's not, but we never see him realize this. He just sort of ignores it. So then he just stops by Missy's house, and then someone who's a friend of Missy comes over for no real reason whatsoever. She just comes over because she's a jerk, I guess. And Sean leaves because she's a cockblocker. So yeah, he just leaves to go get some food, which apparently takes him all day, too. Seriously, he starts going out to get food in the morning. That's when he came over to Missy's house, but when he comes back, it's nighttime. took him so long? Really? Why did that take him so long? What else was he doing? Maybe, okay, sure, it could be because he had to walk, but he just said it was that this restaurant that I was going to was down the block. It's not that hard to walk down a block, buddy. Seriously. What took you so long? And apparently, yeah, now Missy has been kidnapped and that random girl has now been killed. Oh, such a tragedy. I feel like I barely knew her because I did. So, yeah, she's dead. Bummer. And Missy is kidnapped in the van, and apparently it also took the kidnappers all night to do this, as, yeah, they bump into Sean when he's leaving the building and when they're coming in. So, yeah, it also took them all night. I mean, I guess with them, okay, it would make a little bit more sense. You could say that Missy and that random woman were putting up a fight, but still, it's two girls who are unprotected in a apartment room. Is it really that hard to take them out? It should have been over in like 10 minutes. So, yeah. They finally got them, and then Sean just so happened to come back and see all this as, yeah, these kidnappers, who were also the thugs from earlier, who were cheering on the guy who killed Missy's dad, yeah, they're the kidnappers, and Sean just so happened to come by to see them be kidnapping her, as they're apparently the least subtle kidnappers in the world, as once they already have her locked in the trunk, they don't close the doors, they just leave them wide open for anyone to see. Because that makes sense. So, yeah. That was smart. And, yeah. Sean sees this. So, he decides he's not going to get on the Guyver suit. And instead, he's just going to try and get Missy out himself, and luckily Mark is there to help out, because he wanted to come over for some reason. I don't know why he came. But, yeah, the thugs from earlier and now kidnappers have turned into some aliens, or at least one of them has. I think his name was Jimmy, the guy who turned into him. I don't remember. But he's like the main thug alien guy here, so yeah, he turns into one of them, and for some odd reason, whenever they turn into these things, they're all naked. Don't know why. You would think that they would try and get, like, oh, I don't know, some flexible clothing or something to cover them up whenever this happens. I mean, it's not like werewolf rules where they completely lose themselves after this happens. No. They remain the same. They just transform physically, not mentally. So, yeah. Why they don't get any flexible clothing, I don't know. This gets even more weird when a girl turns into one of them. But, yeah, Jimmy starts chasing them down, but is defeated by his worst enemy. Movie sets. Yeah, he walks onto a movie set. This is a very confused joke, as at first it was kind of funny, but then it just drags on for a while, and you wonder why he's even waiting around there for this guy to stop giving him instructions. Why didn't he just continue chasing them? Really? You're a hired thug! Chase them! It's your job! But yeah, he apparently decides to be distracted by this movie set. As until the rest of his thug friends come in and they just say, hey, idiot, yeah, let's go. So they meet up with Sean, Mark, and Missy in a warehouse, and Sean finally turns into the Guyver because I guess he learned how to master that. Maybe that's what he was doing while he was out all day. I don't know. Doesn't really seem like a useful spend of your time. I mean, like, really, why would he waste all his time doing that if he just thought it was a dream, too? Doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, yeah, apparently he spent a long time learning how to control this at some point. So yeah, he turns into it, and there's a very, very, very long fight. Seriously, the fights in this movie drags on for so long. At first, they're alright, but then they go on for like 10 minutes, and then you just end up getting really bored and just saying, okay, the Guyver's the ultimate weapon here. Why can't he beat these guys? So yeah, he continues fighting them off, but he's killed. Bummer, I guess. Mizzy and Mark are kidnapped, and they meet up with the main villain. Forgot his name too. Hang on. They meet the main villain named Ramsey. Not even really sure if that is this character's name, as I don't know the actor who played him. And yeah, I looked up on IMDb under the actors, and I just sort of saw an actor that looked like him. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. Like, if his name's not Ramsey, please do tell me. But yeah, if I'm right, don't correct me. So yeah, Ramsey decides to explain his whole plan to Mizzy because she's there, I guess. And his whole plan is pretty much to be able to harness the power of the Guyver so he can create lots of them and then just use them. Seems like a solid plan. And apparently he also has tried to make more aliens, and apparently sometimes they don't work, as they just end up being horrible abominations of science, and they just live their whole entire miserable existence in jars. Truly a very happy day for them. So yeah, and then Ramsey takes her to go and see some scientists as they continue to work on the Guyver, which, yeah, they're working on Sean's dead body. I'm sure that'll be really convincing to Sean's girlfriend. So, amazingly, she decides to decline his offer, but then she decides, oh wait, no, this could actually be an opportunity to double-cross him. Maybe I should do this. Then she spends a very, very long time working underneath them, but then she still has her own secret plans and decides that she's going to destroy this corporation from the inside. Okay, no, that's not what she does at all. What she does instead is that she just grabs the Guyver and throws it. Great plan there, Mizzy. Wow, never heard a better plan than that. Okay, so yeah, she throws it into one of the scientists who turn into one of the aliens, and he dies. Don't know why. And Sean pops out. How? How is he still alive? How did Sean survive? We saw him melt right on camera. It's not like he died off screen or anything, thus leaving it open to possibility that he could still be alive. No, he died on screen. You see him melt. How is he alive? Do they ever explain this? Nope, never. It's just tossed away entirely. We just needed a climax, I guess. Really? How did this happen? How is he alive? I really want to know. Did he just magically come back to life? Does he have reincarnation powers? Is he the doctor? What? How did he do this? I want to know. Okay, might have gotten a little bit too angry there, but yeah, Sean's back somehow. Don't know how, and they save Mark, who was also being tested on, and yeah, he's just sort of high right now. The best Mark Hamill role ever, seeing him high. Woo. So yeah, and then Sean's gotta face Ramsey, as Mark and Mizzy have to face their greatest foe. A dog alien. Dun dun dun. Yeah, really, why does Ramsey have guard dog aliens? But, yeah. Sean continues to fight him, and he ends up winning. But, as it turns out, Mark's not gonna make it out, and he turns into this thing. So yeah. He's that thing now, and apparently this is gonna kill him. Even though the failed experiments for these aliens have actually proven to still survive, and also these versions of aliens can turn back into their human form. Mark never once thinks about this, because I guess he's still drugged. So yeah, he just ends up dying, but not before he tells Sean that Ramsey is somehow still alive, because I guess he has the same regeneration powers that Sean has, and he's right behind him. Somehow Sean misses that. So Sean and Ramsey continue to fight some more in another 5-minute battle, even though they already had a good 10-minute battle. So yeah, 25 minutes of this movie is comprised of nothing but fighting. I wouldn't have a problem with this if it was something as awesome as the fighting in Kingsman or something, but it's just kind of alright. Like, okay, the fighting's not terrible, and I will say that at least for what it is, it's okay. And at least for in those suits that they're wearing, I will give them some credit. It would be hard to fight in those suits. So yeah, I do have to give them credit on that part, but still, do we need to see 10 minutes of guys fighting? Like, 25 minutes of that. We need that? Desperately, we need that? We don't want to get any development with these characters? Like, none of these characters develop, ever. If you're ever wondering that, no, they don't develop. Sean, you hear something at the beginning about him being too angry, and he can't control his anger, so you think that's gonna be like some development at the end? No. No, his anger just sort of stays the same. Actually, he learns how to use it. Actually, yeah, he does use his anger for being the Guyver, so I guess that might be development. But yeah, Sean and Ramsey continue to duke it out, and Mark dies. Bummer. So, yeah. Then it ends up that Sean wins, even though we already saw Ramsey come back to life, so there is a chance that he could still do that, but apparently that's completely unfeasible, so now he is fully dead because the movie needs to end. And Sean and Mizzy just sort of leave. But we see James, John, Jack, Johnny, James, I don't know, that main thug guy, alien dude, yeah, we see him talking to some legal guy who has been, like, making brief cameos in this movie, talking to Max, and they just say they're out for revenge, so I guess that will lead to a very, very, very thrilling sequel. Yeah, this movie actually did have a sequel. I have not seen it yet. It's not on YouTube like this one was, so I can't really find it. I should probably check my library, or maybe Netflix or something. Or maybe just eBay, or the TV. I have a lot of options that I can check here, but yeah, I'll do that later. So, I don't know. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he doesn't. I think that they changed the actor for Sean in the next one, so yeah. Chances are he probably doesn't. Chances are that guy probably never even makes a cameo. Or maybe he does, and it's just like 5 minutes. Then he's just gone. So, yeah. That was the Guyver. Final thoughts. Like, thoughts on the story here? It's very strange. Alright, so, for one, well, I can see what the movie is trying to do, and that it's trying to feel like a comic book movie, and while at times it does kind of embrace that with how silly some things are, and it can get a funny line here and there, overall the story doesn't flow right. It just feels very out of place. Like, the humor, it doesn't fit into the more dark atmosphere that the movie tries to set up, and the dark atmosphere doesn't fit in when there's humor added to it, so they both don't work that well, and when they try and combine those two together to make it into a big comic book movie, like Captain America the First Avenger, when they try and make it like that, it ends up just feeling like a very, very strange movie. Where, yeah, Captain America, it embraced the fact that it was based off a comic book. It embraced that. It truly took control of the fact that it was a comic. It was based off of a comic, and they took advantage of that. Here, the biggest thing that they use for it being based off of a comic or a manga or whatever is those weird transitions, which, yeah, are still really weird. And I don't know why they use those. They always had weird music over it, too. It was just strange. But overall, yeah, the story can get pretty cluttered at times, with the storyline with Max having met up with the scientist and also trying to do something on his own. They never explained what exactly he was trying to do, why those legal guys were telling him not to do it. I guess if they were in league with Ramsey or something, as, yeah, they're at the facility later, but that's never given any lip service. And there's also Sean, who's there, his story arc's somewhere, I'm sure. Minzy, who's trying to get over her father's death. There's Ramsey, who's trying to just stop himself from being the most over-the-top villain ever. And there's the thugs trying to go do stuff. Even the sidekick gets a story arc where he's in love with one of the thugs, and they're just like gonna go to the Bahamas or something, or Paris, I forgot where. Maybe it was France, I don't know. So yeah, they were gonna go on a vacation, and she ended up dying, and it's just, there's a lot of story arcs in this thing when I think about it, actually, and yeah, they don't really match up that well. They just sort of feel like sub-stories. I think that this movie could have worked a little bit better if maybe it was like Sin City 2 or something, where the stories are their own, but they do still connect. I think that could have made it work a whole lot more, maybe seeing each of these characters' different arcs, and then maybe seeing them all combined together at the end, and sort of just have a cool fight scene. I think that would have worked much better for this movie, and maybe if it took more advantage of either the fact that it's a more comedic movie or the fact that it's a more dark movie. Either take advantage of one of them. Splitting them up together doesn't really work, and it just ends up being rather confused. I've heard that the sequel to this movie is much better and also is actually a more interesting movie, so yeah, if I ever get around to seeing that one, I will take a look at that, but yeah, for this one on its own, I'm going to give the story a 4.5 out of 10. 4.5 out of 10. It's alright for what it's trying to do, and you can see that they really did try to get like this, but it just didn't work. They needed to find an in-between for it, and they never really do. And to me, that's one of the biggest problems with this movie. They just don't find the in-between with it. So, yeah, let's get on to the characters. Okay, so for the characters, we are going to start off with Sean, who is pretty bland. I gotta say, there's nothing really that interesting to him. His acting is okay, I guess. Like, there's one time where he sees a dead body, like that random lady in the apartment, he sees her body, and he's slightly convincing that he cares, but he only cares for like 5 seconds, so yeah, not that convincing there, bud. But, yeah, he's alright, I guess. Like, he's very, very open for character development, though. he doesn't have any development. Again, I bring up that anger thing they bring up in the movie, and it's never developed. You think that will be some development for him, even if it's bad development, it'll at least be something, but no. He just gets no development at all. He just is him, I guess. So, yeah, he just doesn't get anything. Just, he's there, that's all. And, yeah, he's alright, I guess. I mean, like, there's really nothing that great to say about him. The actor doesn't really give into the performance that much. He doesn't feel like he was made for this performance or anything. And, yeah, it's just okay. I've seen much better acting, but then again, he's not awful. I can tolerate him. At least he's not in the movie that much, which I guess is a very big problem, as, yeah, he's the title character. And yet, how much is he in the movie? Oh, like, I don't know, like, half an hour, maybe 36 minutes. Very, very, very long screen time. So, yeah, he's not in the movie that much, so they don't really give him that much time to develop. So, and then after him, we got Mizzy. Again, who names their daughter that? But, yeah, Mizzy is much like Sean in that she's pretty boring. Now, I will at least say that her acting is a bit better than Sean's, as you can tell that she really does care when her dad dies, and she actually does buy into and she actually can get you to slightly buy into the role a bit, as, yeah, when she hears the news that her dad dies, she does take it very harshly, and it lingers on her for a very long time. It's only until, like, the next day that she gets over it. Okay, actually, no, when I say that out loud, yeah, it's the next day that she gets over it, but still, I guess that she had other things to worry about, though, like, you know, super armor getting out to anyone who just picks it up. Like, I guess that could be, you know, a minor issue that you might need to get into. So, yeah, I can at least see why she does drop this later on, too. So, I will only say that she's a bit better than Sean, but yeah, she's still not that great. She's just okay. That's pretty much all there is to her. Then we have Max, who I swear, if you look at the poster to this movie, you think he is going to be the main character. Seriously. The poster to this movie has the Guyver mask and then Mark Hamill's face on the other side. Mark Hamill is the main is the main name that they show off because, well, yeah, he's Luke Skywalker. Who wouldn't want to show him off? Who wouldn't want to be like, yeah, okay, we got Luke Skywalker for our movie, please watch us! And also they have, you know, those other thugs guys at the bottom. But yeah, Mark Hamill is half of the main face of the poster, and yet he's a side character. Seriously, I think that there was an alternate version or script of this movie where he was the main character, and yeah, I don't know, maybe Mark just didn't give into the role that much, or maybe it was just like some complications with the script. I don't know what happened. Maybe, this is all just speculation as to what could have happened, but I'm pretty sure they did have Mark Hamill in mind as the main character, and something else just something changed, and they just decided to go with this other guy instead. But they decided to just leave Mark Hamill in the movie, because why not? Because they already hired him. I mean, like, it's Mark Hamill. They already got him. Why wouldn't you keep him? So, yeah. I guess that's what happened, but as for his character, he's pretty much just like, you know, that old cop who, I don't know, he still does stuff, but he's not really a cop, or at least they never say if he's a cop. Yeah, he kind of looks and acts like he might be a cop, but he's not. Ooh. So yeah, he just alright. Like most of the characters in this movie, he's alright. Like, I don't end up hating him or anything, but I also don't feel bad for him when he dies and when he's kidnapped or put in a tube and getting drugged. Like, then I'm just like, meh, okay. Alright, don't really feel that bad about this. So, yeah, just sort of mixed on him. I don't end up hating him, don't end up loving him. It's just, okay. Actually, yeah, that can be said for most of the characters in this movie. Except for one. The best character in this movie, by far, is Ramsey. Now, okay, again, still don't really know if that is his name, but he is by far the best character in this movie. Now, okay, remember Jeremy Irons' role in Dungeons & Dragons? Remember that? Imagine that performance being put into a sci-fi comic book movie that's already pretty silly. And imagine a guy who has insane facial reactions to match that. Who also owns a company and is an alien. Then you get Ramsey. And he is just amazing in this. Now, you could tell the actor was having a ton of fun playing this role. And if he wasn't, then he's at least a really good actor. Because he makes you buy into the fact that he does, then. And, wow, he is just having so much fun with this role. Like, really, he enjoys this role a lot. And, gotta say, he looks like he's having fun, so that just sort of makes the audience have fun, but unfortunately, he's not in the movie that much. Much like Sean, even though he's one of the main characters, he's the main villain and Sean is the main character, but they're not in the movie a lot. Actually, the movie mainly focuses on Mizzy and what she's doing. Heck, even when Ramsey meets up with her, he's just like, hey, work for my company, you're really important. Like, for some odd reason, him and Sean, even though they're main characters in this movie and should be one of the main focuses, aren't in it that much. Again, that's another big problem with this movie. They had a hilarious acting performance by an actor I really wish I knew the name of so I could look at more of his performances. Again, not even sure if Ramsey is the role that's the villain. Could just be that random scientist guy, I don't know. But, yeah, he was great in this, and I really do wish I saw more of him in this movie. And, yeah, you could say, well, there's a director's cut of this movie, so you could watch it on that, and maybe he has more scenes in it. Nope. I know this because I actually did end up watching the director's cut. That's the one you can find on YouTube, and nope, he still has just, like, mainly scenes and fights. Yeah, and when he turns into an alien, he doesn't really talk that much, which is mainly what was really fun about him. He had a lot of fun with that. But, yeah, he doesn't really talk that much, even. So, yeah, he doesn't get to act over the top. He just doesn't get to sound over the top. He's just sort of a big monster running around yelling, ah! Pretty much it. That's all he does in the end. That's kind of disappointing because he is amazing when he's on screen. Seriously, if he was just in human form this whole time, this movie would have been a whole lot better. So, yeah. Ramsey, you are the best in this movie. But everyone else, eh. And then we have the main thug guy, James, Jack, I don't know. Wait, actually, hang on. I'm going to try and remember what his name was. Alright, so I think that his name is Jimmy. Pretty sure on that, like, 75% sure. So, yeah, Jimmy, he's pretty much another one of the main characters, and I don't really know why. There's nothing really different about him from the other thug kidnapping people. He's just sort of there, and his greatest weakness is movie sets. He's not that great of a bad guy. Seriously, what was with that? He walks into a movie set, and then he just decides, well, okay, I'll just listen to this director for a bit, even though I have a job to do. Like, come on, man, you're getting paid. It's so hard to get some good help these days. So, yeah. Jimmy is okay. For what it's worth, he's alright. Nothing really that bad about him. At least, again, this character does seem like he's having fun with the role. And, yeah, he has some weird rap song thing going on for him. I don't know why he does that. Seriously, it has no bearing on the plot. He just likes to make bad rap songs on the spot. Don't know why. He just does. And that's really weird. Don't know why. Just like a random character trait. So, yeah. And he's okay. Like, nothing really that bad about him. Just there. For what he does, at least he does really try with his performance, so I will give him that. He does try a lot with his performance. And yeah, it's kind of hard to beat Ramsey, so I will give him some credit for that. So, for the characters, I'm going to give them a 4 out of 10. They're really not that great. A lot of them, if not mostly all of them, are just okay at best. And the other ones are just barely in the movie. They start up character arcs for some of these characters, but nope, they don't show up ever again, like that random lady at the dojo that Sean's at. Yeah, she seems like she's gonna be a prominent character later, but she never shows her face again. Is she that lady that came into the apartment? Like Mitzi's apartment who died? Was that her? I don't know. It kind of looks similar. Was that her? Pretty sure it wasn't, but maybe. So yeah, for the characters, 4 out of 10. They're not really that great, except for Ramsey, who is amazing, and I wish could get his own freaking movie or something. Just like, that would be amazing. But yeah, that's pretty. And also, Ramsey, he is not like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Yeah, I know that some people could make that comparison, as both of their performances are very over the top as a villain. No, he doesn't feel like that because the rest of the movie is over top, so he does fit in very well. I do want to make that very apparent, that the rest of the movie is very over the top at times, so he does fit in pretty well. And so, yeah, for the characters, 4 out of 10, they're meh. Except for Ramsey, who's amazing. Not even sure if that is his name, though. And so, for the movie overall, it's okay. It's alright. Like, okay, it's not anything amazing, but I didn't really expect it to be. Like, if you came into this movie having really high hopes and thinking that it's going to be the best movie of all time, why? Please let me know. I really do want to know that. Why are you thinking that? Please let me know. But, yeah, if you go in just thinking, well, could be a fun B-movie, then that's what you're going to get. A pretty fun B-movie with actually some really good practical effects. I will give them that. Like, the practical effects and the makeup for the aliens and the Guyver suit, while they do have a very strange look to them, and you can obviously tell they're fake, I still do respect the fact that they are practical effects, and I really do miss practical effects nowadays, so they kind of have that old school charm to them, and they actually do feel kind of like old monster movie costumes, so that's something that I actually do kind of like with them. And now my voice is cracking, don't know why, but that is something that I actually do really like with them. And so at least their costumes are pretty good, and while I don't know if that's what they look like in the manga or anime, and that might be what they're trying to go for, I don't know. Again, haven't seen it, or read about it, but at least I will say the effects are pretty good for the most part. And yeah, having to fight through those would definitely be really hard, so again, I do give them some appreciation for that. Even though there's like 25 minutes of nothing but fighting, and that's just with those thug guys and Ramsey. There's also those thieves that Sean fights, which take like 4 minutes. And there's also that opening scene in the dojo, so yeah, that one goes on for a while. Oh yeah, and also that scene with the scientist. So yeah, we got like, I don't know, like 20 minutes of actual characters sitting around and talking. So yeah. Yeah, maybe that was one of the problems with the characters. So yeah, the characters for this movie aren't really that developed, and they can't really be that great at times. Like, there are a lot of times that they are just pretty generic and really bland, but there are some standout ones, like Ramsey, who are just really amazing to see and make this movie worth watching. Although then there are some really boring ones like Sean and Mizzy, who are just kind of there. Nothing really that spectacular. And then there are just some indifferent ones for me that are like Jimmy. They're just alright. They try something different. Doesn't really always work in their favor, but at least they tried. They really do try. So, yeah, give those thug guys some credit. They had fun with this. And Ramsey, he had fun. So, yeah, all those guys, the characters are fine, I guess. So, yeah, overall, this movie is incredibly mediocre. Nothing really that stand out about it. If you're in the mood for a moderately okay B movie, this is definitely one to check out. I won't say it's awful or anything, because that would be too harsh. It's not awful. It's just okay. So yeah, check this out if you're in the mood for an okay B movie. So yeah, overall score, 4 out of 10. Oh, and also, this was a recommended review by Steven S. Go check out his channel here, or his Google Plus page. He does a lot of cool stuff on communities and stuff. So go check him out. He's a pretty cool guy, so yeah, go check him out. And that's pretty much it for this movie. All in all, 4 out of 10. And next week, we'll be looking at Boxtrolls. Great. So, yeah. Bye.